Good morning. This is Miss Linda from Mount Gilead Library. And it's St. Patrick's Day. Yay! The shamrock is here. And we've got the bucket and we've got all these kind of things to remind us of St. Patrick's Day. And the favorite color of St. Patrick's Day is green. And here's a little song by tune of Farmer in the Dell. The shamrock is green, the shamrock is green. Hi ho, St. Patrick's Day, the shamrock is green. Would you stand up and do that with me this morning, please? The shamrock is green, the shamrock is green. Hi ho, St. Patrick's Day, the shamrock is green. I wonder why it's called St. Patrick's Day. Well, I want to tell you, there was a man by the name of Patrick. And he lived many years ago, and he really was born in England. But Patrick was kidnapped by some Irish people and taken to Ireland. And he was put in prison there. And he was there for a long time. And eventually he was able to break out of prison. And he found a boat that was going back to England. And he went back to England. And he began living his life again with his family. But he kept thinking about those people in Ireland that had been so mean to him. And he thought about them as with kindness. And so what Patrick did was he went back to Ireland and he went back to those people that had put him in prison and he helped them and he showed them kindness. And because of what he did, eventually he became a saint, and that's where we get St. Patrick's Day. But there's a lot of ways that we celebrate St. Patrick's Day, and this book tells us a lot of ways that we celebrate it. It's called Celebrating St. Patrick's Day by M.J. York. The holiday is March 17th. We wear green. Green, the color green, makes us think of Ireland. There are green hills there. The shamrock is green. It is a symbol of St. Patrick's Day. There are fun foods. We eat green food. We eat green cookies. Corned beef is Irish. We eat it and we eat cabbage. Parades. Many cities have parades and we hear fun songs. Dancers perform Irish dances. They wear bright dresses. Look how colorful their dresses are. People in Chicago dye a river green. They put green food coloring in this river and it becomes green on St. Patrick's Day. How do you celebrate St. Patrick's Day? Maybe you make cookies. Maybe you wear green. And maybe you say, but I'm not Irish. Well, that's okay. We don't have to be Irish. We just have to remember the day. And there's another little song. It's to the tune of Here to Go Round the Mulberry Bush. Let's wear green and dance a jig, dance a jig, dance a jig. Let's wear green and dance a jig on St. Patrick's Day. Would you do that one with me? And maybe you can kind of jiggle your feet a little bit to be a jig. Let's wear green and Let's do it a little bit faster. See if you can get your feet going faster. Let's wear green and dance a jig, dance a jig, dance a jig. Let's wear green and dance a jig on St. Patrick's Day. Now there's something else that we remember that's Irish. And we're going to learn about it in this book, the St. Patrick's Day Shillelagh. It's by Janet Nolan. What's a shillelagh? Well, we're going to find out. We are going to find out. This happened a long time ago, and it says, day after day, Fergus felt a rumble in his empty belly as he sat beside his favorite blackthorn tree, watching the clouds reach down from the sky and touch the earth. It was a terrible time in Ireland when Fergus was a child. The potatoes had rotted in the fields, and children lay in their beds at night, hungry. Oh, how sad. Late one night, when the peat fire had burned low, Fergus woke to the sound of his parents' worried whispers. When the sun rose through the mist of the dawn, they told him to say farewell to Ireland. They were sailing to America. On his last night in his homeland, when the stars were shining their very brightest and the moonlight shimmered on the land, Fergus crept from his window and cut a branch from the blackthorn tree. He would take a piece of Ireland with him on his journey across the ocean. As passengers on the crowded ship waved goodbye to the land they would never see again, Fergus whittled the branch from the blackthorn tree into a fine shillelagh. His tears softened the wood. Fergus worked hard in America. He shined scuffed up shoes during the day, and for a few pennies more, he sold newspapers at night. These were difficult jobs for a skinny boy with tired legs. When he grew to be a man, he laid the tracks where the trains now run. Wow. On Sundays, wearing his finest suit and carrying his shillelagh, Fergus courted the lovely lass who came to be his bride. Fergus never learned to read, and he never learned to write, but he always had a tale to tell. On St. Patrick's Day of every year, he told the story of the terrible hunger and his journey to America. One day, Fergus placed the shillelagh in his son Declan's hands and said, "Take this branch as a memory of Ireland." And so it was Declan's turn to tell the shillelagh story on St. Patrick's Day. Declan rose before dawn every day. He labored in sun and rain, cold and heat, high above the East River, building the Brooklyn Bridge. His legs grew strong, his hands blistered and rough. Declan always had a joke to share and a kind word for anyone passing on the street. And at the end of the day, he had a gentle hug for his wee son, Emmett. On St. Patrick's Day, when the stars were shining and the bonfires had burned low, Declan told the story of Fergus and his shillelagh to all who gathered near. When Emmett grew to be a man, Declan placed the shillelagh in his hands. "The past that walks with me today will walk with you tomorrow," he told his son. And everyone in the neighborhood knew Emmett and his grand singing voice. On St. Patrick's Day, it was Emmett singing Gaelic songs that made the grown-ups laugh and dance and cry. Year after year, Emmett told the shillelagh story until the year he left to fight in World War I, While he was away at war, though, the story was not told. When Emmett returned with an injured leg, it was the shillelagh he leaned on to help him walk. When Emmett's leg healed, he placed the shillelagh in the hands of his daughter, Mary Maeve, and told her, "Remember, a good story takes its time in the making and its time in the telling." Mary Maeve was a green-eyed lass who loved to dance a reel, toes pointed, hair flying as she leaped to an Irish tune. When young men left to fight in World War II, Mary Maeve and other women took their places in the factories. For weeks, then months, then years, Mary Maeve drilled holes after hole into the silver metal for airplanes. On St. Patrick's Day, Mary Maeve placed the shillelagh in the hands of her son, Garrett. "May the stories of our past guide you to your future," she told him. Well, Garrett was a big, tall man with bushy eyebrows and eyes that twinkled even when his face was still. He became a music teacher, helping children to play the tin whistle, the fiddle, the flute, and the drum. 1, 2, 3, 4. He tapped out the rhythm with his shillelagh. Garrett was not a man who easily cried, but on the day his son Ryan graduated from college, tears of pride welled in his eyes. And so the shillelagh was passed down through the generations, from Fergus to Declan, from Declan to Emmett, Emmett to Mary Maeve, and Mary Maeve to Garrett, who gave the shillelagh to Ryan. Then Ryan moved into a new house and put the shillelagh in the closet. Oh no! There it stayed until years later when Ryan's daughter Kaylee found the dusty shillelagh while playing hide and seek. "What's this?" Kaylee asked her father. "Oh," Ryan said, "it's a story I forgot to tell." He put down the cooking pot and turned toward his daughter. "This shillelagh is our past," he said. "Its story has been told on St. Patrick's Day for many years through many generations." "Well, why didn't you tell the story to me?" Kaylee asked him. "I would have listened." "Oh, I got so busy worrying about tomorrow, I forgot to tell you our family story of yesterday. On St. Patrick's Day, your Grandpa Garrett would love to tell you the shillelagh story." And so on St. Patrick's Day, when the stars were shining their brightest and the moon glowed, Kaylee sat down beside her Grandpa Garrett. "Long ago and far away," he began, "in a land where clouds come down from the sky and touch the earth, in a country that is every color of green, lived a lad who answered to the name of Fergus. When the hunger of the potato famine forced his family to leave the land he loved, Fergus cut a branch from his favorite blackthorn tree and whittled it into a fine shillelagh. Fergus brought a piece of Ireland with him to America." When Grandpa Garrett finished talking, he placed the shillelagh in Kaylee's hands and said, "A good story never has to end as long as someone remembers to keep telling it." And so it was Kaylee's turn to tell the tale of her family and their shillelagh. "Now," said Grandpa Garrett, "I'd be honored to have a dance with my little lass Kaylee." With the shillelagh held between their hands, Kaylee and her Grandpa Garrett danced on St. Patrick's Day by the light of the stars and the glow of the moon. So what did we learn about Ireland today? Well, the shamrock, St. Patrick's Day, green, a shillelagh, potato famine that brought people to America, Let's sing. The shamrock is green. Hi-ho, it's St. Patrick's Day, okay? The shamrock is green. The shamrock is green. Hi-ho, St. Patrick's Day. The shamrock is green. Goodbye. I'll see you next week.